Hi there, this is Clovis from Kinematic Lab. In this tutorial you will learn how to use the stripe object. So I open the UI Toolkit interface and let's start. So let's go in the stripes category here and I will talk about this button. So I left click on the button and then I click and drag in the viewport to create the stripe. So when you move your mouse you see that the stripe size changes and you can change length and width together. So when you release the mouse button, the object is done. And you can create other stripes. And you stop the creation with the right click. Okay. So I will delete some of them. Okay. Change the layer color. Now let's go to the parameters. So in the parameter rollout, we'll find all the parameters to control the stripe. So you can change the height, the width, and the number of segments here is the number of divisions of the stripe. The chamfer value controls the chamfer of each substripe. And the separate value from 0 to 100 separate the substripes until they disappear completely. So the separate value sort of resize the substripes, okay, and it resizes them from their center here or from their top or bottom. Also you can align the substripes on left, center and right, and also rotate the whole stripe at 90 degrees. Random width here. With this parameter you can add random width values and you can generate random values again with the seed button. Okay, and you can make different kind of effects if you combine this with the align option. So right here you have something completely different because it's centered, but you can do it left, right, 90 degrees, etc. The random delete, with this one you can delete random substripes, okay, and like in the width seed button you can generate random delete with this button. Now the percentage from 0 to 100, make the stripe grow substripe per substripe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, it appears like that. The invert option here inverts this process, so it makes it from top to bottom. See? And this slide value is very important because it makes the random width and delete value slide along the stripe. So if I change it now, it doesn't change anything, okay? But if I add some random values like that and slide it, you see that it sort of go through the whole stripe like sequence. And that's the same for the delete. Okay, it makes it slide. So this value can be animated. Let's say I put some keyframes here. Okay, you see that I can animate it. Right? I can animate the delete value. The percentage as well. Etc. And everything is accessible in the curve editor, so you can put a controller like a noise float, for example. And your strap is animated by itself. So almost everything here is animatable. Now let's talk about the time offset concept. So it's something that is used a lot on the UI Toolkit objects. So it helps you to create procedural animations by offsetting the animation of a value on each substripe, or each dot, depending on the object. So let's animate the width value, for example. So I will put some keyframes, and you see that you already have something moving. Okay. So this is happening like that because I have a slide here. And you see that my animation is sort of going through the stripe by default. So each substripe is animated one by one, okay? And if you change the time offset value, you change the sort of extend or shrink the speed of the animation. So you can use some keyframes here, or you can eventually use some controllers like I did before. Let's use a noise again. And if I play the animation, now there is always something to look at. And just can play with the controller value and the time offset to get the animation you want. So you can make some pretty neat results. Okay. And you can do that with a lot of parameters, like the separate parameter, for example. Let's make less bars and add controller here. Because this is procedural, you can change anything at any time. You can just change the number of segments, change the width, anything you need. remove the chamfer. Now about the end rollout here. You will find here all the parameters to control the end objects. So to show you how it works, I will first remove this. Okay. Fine. We'll have to create a separate object, so I will use something like a box, but it can be any geometry. Okay. And here with this pick button I pick this object. So now you see that this cube is placed at the end of the stripe, okay? And this mesh is updated each time you change something on the source mesh. So if you change something here, okay, change topology, animate it even, it's going to be the same here. So now when I change the percentage, you see that this end object sticks to the stripe, okay? So it could be fun, for example, to make an arrow, for example. And I will pick this one instead of the box. Okay. Right. So now I have my arrow here, and it makes a lot more sense. So with the both sides, you see that it puts the same end object on each side. Okay. I'll make it bigger with the use of this size value here, so you can see me better. And with the each stripe option here, it places the end mesh at the end of each substripe. So I will rotate it so it makes a better result. Yeah. So you have an end object on each end of each substripe, which is pretty cool because they stick to these ends. So if you animate something, like you can change random width, for example. Okay, and if you slide it, you see, or animate this with value, or well, anything, they stick to each end. So if you change the align option, you see that they can be on the moving ends here, or on each ends, etc. And you can change their size, and also you can offset them. Fine. Now let's talk about the materials here. This object, like all the UI Toolkit plugins, is already setted with different material ideas. So I prepared a few materials to show you. So first I apply this material and we will see what is happening. So for the moment all the stripes have a ID 1, okay, that's the white material, and all the ends have an ID 2. Okay, it's automatically done. Fine. But now if I check this option, you allow the substripes to have multiple IDs. So I check it and I will change this value to 6, for example. Now what do we see? We have black material simply because there is nothing plugged here. Okay, so I prepared another multi-sub object and I will apply it. Now what do we have? We have 7 material IDs, so I have 6 which corresponds to this value, okay, and I can slide them, okay, they will only slide along the stripes like a sequence, okay, and you can have a lot of them with a big multi-sub object to make the sequence you want. You can change it. And the next number, so this is 6 material IDs for the stripes, and the next number, which is 7 in this case, here is going to be for the end mesh. So it's going to be this red material. Okay. Now with the fade option here, you can add vertex color values to your stripes. So to visualize that, you have to check this option, of course, and to press this button. Now you see it's just vertex color for the moment, so it doesn't render anything. But if you apply a material like this one, which has in this diffuse color a mix map, okay, to blend between this pink and green value, and you just plug a vertex color map on the mix amount. So the vertex color map is going to take the values from black to white to blend between these two colors. So if I apply this material and render it, you see that it blends perfectly along the stripes, and you can invert these vertex colors. Okay. Of course, this material can be plugged in the multi-sub object as well and applied. So now only I have to remove this. Okay. Now only the stripes has the green to pink colors, and the ends are red. Okay. And that's it. See you in the next video. Cheers.